Hello YouTube, Dr. Tactical here, and the doctor will see you now. Welcome back. So today we are talking about the Copperhead. Looks a little different than the Copperhead you may have seen before. So this is the MPX Copperhead K, and not so easy to find. This is really sort of a unicorn, and I'll talk about why. This solves a lot of problems and a lot of concerns that I had with the other Copperhead. And I'll give you a spoiler alert right now. I loved this gun, loved it, and I had concerns going into it based on some of the few things I found. There's not a lot of information on YouTube regarding this gun specifically, so I had to do a little bit of homework, and I had to and really had an opportunity to put it through its paces. So. But I really, overall, really love this gun. In this configuration, the way it stands right before you, I love it. But there's some things that we need to talk about, and we'll get to that. First, let me show you our zeroing that we did today. So I did a little zeroing and a mag dump. So you're looking at about a 25-yard zero, and then me just having fun. In fact, I was having such a good time that the other people in the range started coming over and taking pictures and stuff. It could be that I was the only person there wearing a white lab coat in the range, which is different. Anyway, the things I'll go through for you guys. So let's take a look at that. All right, here comes the mag dump. God, that makes me happy. All right, so as I was mentioning, there's not a lot of info out on this. If you go into their manual and open it up, the Copperhead manual, pretty much everything references the tan Cerakoted version of this, which is not the same. In fact, after you flip through the pages and get through all the warnings, the pages of warnings before you get to the table of contents, there is a picture in there of this next to the other one. So it has two Copperheads in there, the one that everybody knows and this one. There's no words, there's nothing referencing this. I couldn't find anything to specifically address this. Everything in there referenced primarily I guess I'll call it the original Copperhead, because that's the one I saw when it first came out. So again, this is specifically the MPX Copperhead K, which is interesting because K almost always refers to a larger gun. And I'm sorry, a smaller gun. K almost always refers to a smaller gun. This is a little bit bigger than the regular Copperhead. The regular Copperhead has a 3.5-inch barrel. This has a 4.5-inch barrel. The regular Copperhead has a barrel that does not have threading on the end of it. It has this, I don't know what it is. It's like a flower. It's a flash hider, they say, but it doesn't have very long prongs. It's almost like they just put something on so you couldn't get a suppressor on it. So anyway, there's very little information out there on this. Now, there's also an MPX K, not the same gun. I saw that Tim at the firearms channel, no, not the firearm channel, the military arms channel, he had he used the K version of the MPX, and had some issues with the barrel. It's a 4.5-inch barrel, and it looks a heck of a lot like this barrel. That's my big concern. So far, everything that you see in front of you, the way this sits right now, this gun's perfect. But the problem he ran into was when he started making changes to the end, this has some type of a reverse pitch, I'm sorry, reverse threading, and a unique pitch, making it more difficult to find, to suppress. You've got to get all kinds of adapters and switch things around. I know also the guy Eric at Sage, I think it's Sage Dynamics, he was having issues because things kept backing out on him or coming off or loosening. So what I'm hoping is, Sig is known for innovating. They're also known for sometimes putting things out a little bit prematurely because they're innovators, but to their benefit, they also are known for getting things right after a while, getting on them. So I'm hoping this is not the same barrel that's in the MPX K. And Sig, I know you watch some of my stuff because I've seen some of the stuff you've responded with. So if somebody from Sig would be kind enough to answer in the comments, please, I'll make sure word gets out if this is the same barrel that was in the MPX K. Okay, now I'm no stranger to this PDW design. That's kind of my perfect gun for home defense. I like something small, something you can, if you need to go around, nobody can grab it going around a corner. You don't have a long barrel, but yet you have the advantage of, having additional points of contact so that you can be accurate. There's just a lot of pluses that come along with having a PDW style defensive weapon. In fact, over COVID, I bought myself this rattler, and actually the lower is not legit. The lower is a lower that I put together because I was only able to find a rattler upper. The rattler upper comes with an adapter Picatinny backing for the traditional AR bottom that you can put a folding brace on, which is what we have on here. This is a folding brace. This is a handgun, as well as a trigger hammer combo, because that is proprietary, or there's certain aspects of it that are necessary to properly operate the system that we have up here. Over here, we've got the same thing, but in 5.56 or 2.23. So this is, now this also has a end on the end of the barrel to keep you from suppressing. But this is a 5.5-inch barrel for 5.56. It's a flamethrower. I don't think I'd be comfortable suppressing that anyway. In fact, before I got this, I have a Omega 300 suppressor here, and originally the warranty on this wouldn't let you go shorter than 7 inches on the barrel. So before getting this, I called Silencer Co., and they told me that has changed, that there is not a limit on the length of the barrel for subsonic ammo. There was a limit for supersonic, but I don't remember what it was. So in other words, I'm not shooting any supersonic through this. And this is just fun. And the reason I have this is I can't afford to shoot this thing regularly. Once ammo prices started going up, 300 blackout went through the roof. Now, I make a lot of my own rounds, but at 300 is a little bit more cumbersome because you have to trim down the casings, and it's just an extra step, so it becomes a slightly bigger deal. But it's worth it. It's a labor of love, as we all know. But 300 blackout is really my ideal home defense round. It's got a nice kick. It's by the subsonic in particular. I'm a big fan of suppressing for home defense. I think you need to keep your wits about you. You fire off a firearm in the house, it's going to disorient you. Obviously, it's going to mess up whoever's on the other end of the barrel, but it's going to disorient you. And you can't assume that there's only one target out there. There could be, multiples. So you really want to keep your wits about you. And you've certainly just announced where you are once, with or without a suppressor, you've announced where you are once you fire the weapon. So for that reason, you really want to be as prepared as you possibly can be to either deal with other threats or to start managing the situation. So I know that the guy at what's it called, the something Poet Society, he's not an advocate for silencing, and I heard his rationale, and I don't disagree, but I disagree. Anyway, back to this. So this is really ideal. It's 9mm, so it's a nice round. You got a 4.5-inch barrel. 3.5-inch barrel is really, really, that's shorter than most handguns. It's really now, it's not going to affect accuracy, but it will affect velocity. People are always concerned about accuracy. With handguns, it's a little bit more of a concern because if you're using iron sights, your sight distance from the rear sights to the front sights increases with a longer barrel, which will give you better accuracy. If you're worried about the bullet tumbling or being sustained, I guess it does play a role with that. But for the most part, accuracy is not really your big concern with a shortening of the barrel, but it will decrease the velocity, which does decrease the kinetic energy upon impact. And that can be clearly seen if you do any steel target work and you take a 9mm in a 3, 4, 5-inch barrel and then put that up against like a 9-inch barrel or 10-inch barrel, and steel starts falling down that wasn't falling down before because it's being hit a lot harder. A 4.5-inch though is a very reasonable length, I think. So just sort of going from the end here, this is Sig's brace that is retractable. So you just push the button on the side here and it just sort of goes in. When you pull it out, you just rip it. You don't have to push anything. It's ready to rock and roll. As I said, it's a brace. It's the one that does all that twirling crap that they talk about like it's a plus, but nobody who uses it feels that way. Anyway, that is something that can be replaced by something like that. The truth of the matter is, I have limited time on this, but I haven't had an issue. This has a swinging brace too, or whatever the heck they call it. I have a lot of rounds through that, and I haven't had any issues. I did a carbine competition with that, and I think everybody was worried I was going to light the targets on fire. I think it was a total flamethrower, but it was awesome. So this is a lot of fun to shoot. Now, it has on it right now. Well, actually, I'll just keep moving forward. So we got a Picatinny rail on the back of it. So if you don't like this and you want to put a folding stock, and there is advantages to the folding stock because the folding stock will take this part away, making it an even shorter package. Now, this isn't the shortest of the 9mm packages because take a look at this. Let me put this down for a sec. This is my CZ Scorpion K. So this is a shorter version of the Scorpion. And this is really nice. This also is braced. It has my Sig optic on. Maybe I should switch them. Although I really am liking that Holosun. So this is nice. I have had some issues with my CZ Scorpion firing. I sent it back to CZ. They told me everything. They've got it all working fine now. They do not. It is not a reliable. I haven't found this to be a reliable gun. Now, my friends have the regular size CZ Scorpion, and they've had none of them have reported any problems to me whatsoever. So I think it's a K issue. Could be something with the cycling, the timing. It's a blowback system, but whatever the reason is, it has not been something that I trust. I can go through 3 or 4 magazines with no problem, and then all of a sudden it starts jamming up. So I think it is a timing issue, but it's really good looking and I really like it, but it's not a gun that I would trust. And it is, as I said, I don't know how well you can see it, a little bit smaller of a package. Even if you folded the brace up on the Sig, this would still be a little bit smaller. Now, if you do the folding brace instead of the sliding brace, because you're putting it in a backpack or what have you, it's a lot thicker of a package. So the Sig, while it's a little bit longer, is skinny. So there's pros and cons with that. I feel like I'm juggling guns here. All right. I mean, really, this is so small, and it's so nice, and it fits really into a nice computer bag. It's really just very adaptable. So I'm a fan of this. Okay, so charging handle. You've got, oh gosh, I'm sorry. This is empty. For anybody who's been sitting there watching and worried that, uh-oh, I hope he doesn't get me. You're safe. And as I said before, if it is loaded, you're still safe. But it's not. We're empty. Okay. So, charging handle is your standard AR style charging handle, but it's shorter because of the system here. So it is proprietary. Other companies do make them for Sig, though. You got sort of a bilateral safety here. So, ambidextrous, I guess. That's fine. I really think that should be on pretty much any gun. There's no reason not to have that. It's easy to do. You also have an ambidextrous magazine release on this. As a right-hander, I don't think I'll be utilizing that very often, but my son's lefty and he'll enjoy that. You also have, let me lock this back. On the left side, just like your typical AR, you've got your paddle and you've got your locking mechanism here to lock it back and the paddle to release it. But on the other side, we've got a release for the bolt carrier group. So that's kind of nice. That's convenient. I like that there. I will, in fact, today when I was shooting, I used this more than I used the other side, even though all my training and everything is sort of used to hitting it with the left side. It's still, even with muscle memory from that, this was still more natural to me doing it on the right side. I really like that. Okay, coming forward, we got our mag well. It's got a little flare to it, which is nice. I am riding on this, the Holosun Ames, which I'm incredibly happy with, I have to say. Really nice. We may do a whole thing just on that. I have a magnifier behind it. This is the Juliet 4, so 4-time magnification. It is not necessary on a gun this little. I've got a lot of stuff riding on this gun, but the reason it's on here is I wanted to zero it at 25 yards, and when I'm zeroing, to have this on and let me see down that far at 4-time magnification, I could really see where I was hitting and what was going on without having to bring the target back and forth, back and forth. So this was really a nice, is perfect for that. And it lines up beautifully with this. I ride it on the both of the rattlers. So I've got quite the little snake den here between the Copperhead and the 2 rattlers. Because these guns can shoot out a little bit of a distance. I mean, this gun's probably not going very far. I'm not going far with, but it's nice to have the magnification when you're doing fine shooting, like trying to zero. Of course, those of you who just watched me zeroing may not call it fine shooting, but hey, my area of expertise in shooting is I am what you call an enthusiast, and my love for guns by far outweighs my abilities, but I really do enjoy them. And this gun has really won some marks for me. The concern that I have with this gun is this barrel. If this is that barrel that Tim from Military Arms was talking about, that as soon as he switched off to a suppressor or to even a tri-lug adapter, the accuracy went all over the place. Then that concerns me, because that's what I want to do with this gun. I want to suppress it. That's one of the reasons I had no interest in the other Copperhead, the tan one. Now, I mean, that's a fun gun. It's a nice gun, but it doesn't click off any of my wants on my list. So I know that Nut and Fancy had done a review on the Copperhead using the tan one and just destroyed it. And I didn't disagree with anything that he said, but I will have to tell you, I think this undoes all of his concerns. It went from sort of a gun that he didn't have a use for. I bet you this is a gun that everybody really would have a good use for. It does, as we keep moving forward, the barrel switch comes in and out real easily. I say that having never taken the barrel out before, but I do intend to at some point. But it's designed so that you can do it relatively easily. Also, we've got, you're probably going to hold this, I think, more at in the magazine weld than you will out here. Although this actually has more real estate than the other Copperhead. It does have this little safety thing here to keep you from getting a manicure if you go too far forward. I do want to put a little light of some sort up on here. The sides do have M-lock, but I don't really think, I guess if you hold it here and that's your standard, I mean, there's not a lot of real estate up in this area. But I like the idea of a home defense weapon having a light on it. I'll have to try and experiment with a couple things. So yeah, you've got these are M-lock, at least so I've been told. They're elongated, but they should function. But probably I'm going to put a light up on this monolithic rail up here, because the Holosun Ames is elevated, and I think that really does give us enough room to play with underneath. Let's see, what else do I want to share with you on this? The pins are all the same. Taking it down, it's there's nothing. It opens just like an AR with the pins. It cleans nicely. There's a lot of videos already on breaking it down, but I'm always happy. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot about one of the best features in the whole damn thing. This trigger, this Chimney trigger, is beautiful. This trigger, so there is zero take up. I am there. I'm at the wall. I pull back. That's it. Done. Fired. Now, the reset. That's it. Boom. That's the shot. It, as good as it looks, because I'm sort of watching a monitor as I'm looking at the camera, as good as it looks, or at least looked to me on the monitor, it's that good or better. This is a, I don't have a, what do you call it, a scale for my trigger yet. I'm waiting till my YouTube money starts pouring in. So please, please, please like, subscribe. Let's get this thing rolling so I can afford a trigger scale. But from what I've seen, it's 4.5 pounds. That's what's been demonstrated on other videos that I saw. It feels way lighter than that, but 4.5 makes me feel a little safer, especially since I want to use this as a home defense gun. But I mean, this even would be fun for competitions, just with that light, with the way the trigger's set up, that flat face. It's just nice. It's really, really nice. So overall, I'm loving this gun, and that's really the take-home message. There's a lot of uses for it. The only thing that I have a concern with is whether or not this is that barrel, and I don't know. And I'm going to keep researching it, and as soon as I find out, I'm going to share that with everybody. And I really hope that if somebody knows this, they will reach out to me and comment and let us know. So, YouTube, thank you for your time. Please comment, share. I'm loving the interaction I've been having since starting this YouTube thing. This has really been a lot of fun. I'm going to try and keep getting good stuff out. And I'm happy to do follow-ups if there's stuff that you guys think that you'd like to know more about. And we'll keep on rocking. So thank you. Like and subscribe, please, and share, and comment. So, and hit the bell if you want to see the new stuff that's coming. Thank you. Doctor out.